What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to my Dress Up Darling Saturdays. So we just got done completing episode number 5, and this anime just continues to get better with each passing week. Just the level of storytelling and the level of plot development and character development that they have in this anime is really top tier. So we're talking about plot, character, and kind of like story, right? So as the anime kind of continues to tell the story it is, which is you have MARIN or Kitagawa, who is kind of finding herself in this cosplaying scene. Then you have our secondary, which is GOJO, who is finding himself a partner, finding his socialistic point of view, kind of his socialistic inner self that is able to come out and be able to see some of the world that he hasn't been exposed to in the past. And he's also able to kind of use some of the skills that he has from what he's currently into, with making his Hina dolls and stuff. And he's able to translate that over into what somebody who is now pretty special to him really enjoys too. And also, can we talk just for 2 seconds about the ending of that episode? Like, oh my God. I told you guys, like, for those who have been here, I've been saying it over and over that MARIN would be the one to fall in love first. And I think that it was even more solidified this week with the end of the episode. And it just, like, last week I already saw it a little bit. In episode 3 I saw it a little bit. And this week it's like, yeah, this is it for sure. Now, I do think that GOJO is definitely developing and has already had those feelings too. But because of just the way that he hasn't experienced a lot of these things before, I don't think that he's really put 2 and 2 together that this is this kind of thing, I think that what he's saying and doing in actions represent that, but I don't think it's actually clicked with him that, hey, I think I've fallen in love with this girl kind of thing. But it has 100% clicked for Kitagawa, which is our opposite side, which I think is really cute too. But when I talk about plot and character development, so this episode focused right on picking up from last week. So They put together Shizuku's cosplay. They're able to take pictures. They're able to kind of like have her begin expressing herself. Then they decide, or she decides that they're going to go to this cosplay event. Since now the cosplay is complete, so like let's go. So they go do that. Then the whole cosplay scene that they have there is awesome. Like, it is, I don't know if I want to call it an awakening, but it is a realistic view for GOJO, for him to begin realizing some things of what happens, right? So he goes there, and the reason I kind of call it like awakening in a sense, he goes there and he sees all of these masses of people, and they're all freely expressing themselves, right? But B, they're all doing things that they love. Women, men, the folks in between, they're all doing what they love, and they're not being themselves. In this moment, their identities aren't themselves. It's the characters that they love, right? So in this sense, right, he's like, oh, he saw this what do you call it? He called it drag for a second. He's like, no, that's not quite right. You have this man representing this character that he loves, which just happens to be, a female character, whether that's from a video game or from an anime, whatever, right? And then he continues to look around and he sees, females being their best boys, right? They're being their favorite characters, from the male perspective, and again, whether they're anime or video games or manga, whatever it is, right? They're representing their favorite characters. And he's beginning to see it as something more, which I think is really cool and special, because it's finally starting to click for him, that there's this niche, which is cosplay, and you have all these people who are super passionate about it, and they're just in the world saying, I don't give a F what anybody thinks. This is what I'm passionate about. I'm putting that energy out into the world. And what ends up happening is you have 2 variety of people. You have the other people who are also in that same camp doing the same thing, who also don't give a F, and they all are able to congregate and come together. Then you have these third parties of people who, they're not cosplayers, but they love to be in that environment. They want to go take pictures and associate and interact with these people and all this stuff, right? And if you've ever been to a con, or if you've ever been to an event, or video game event or anime event, you see these folks and you see the two different folks around it. Personally, I fall into the latter of the camps. Like, I don't personally cosplay. I've never cosplayed myself. Outside of dressing up as Ash Ketchum. I mean, who hasn't done that? Obviously, you guys see all the Pokemon stuff. I've been the best like no one ever was a couple of times. So I guess you could put that. I can put that on the board as one. You know what I mean? But I haven't officially made something to wear or anything of that nature. But I have two really close friends who I have been to events with before, who I've experienced cosplay through them. And there's a lot that goes into it. These two dudes that I'm really good friends with, they start messing with kind of what their ideas. They start kind of begin creating and messing with their ideas, like 6 months prior to a Comic-Con or an anime event or something like that nature. 3 to 6 months prior to that, they start thinking of ideas, who they're going to be, and they start putting their outfits together. They start 3D printing. They start, sewing and doing all this stuff. So I've seen it happen before. And what's crazy about the anime is it really represents the passion really well. And again, I've experienced that passion as a outside bystander before through friends who I've had who are really into this. And it's represented really well here because there's a lot of stress and a lot of planning and a lot of things that go up to it. And then when the day happens, it's fun. And they're able to be these characters that they've been planning to be for a long time. And I've been there and seen people, ask for pictures with them. And I've seen them, and congregate with other random groups of people. And the two people that I know are very, very awkwardly unsocial, right? They're in their normal daily lives. They have a small group of friends, and I get to be one of them, and my wife does too. But it's a small group. But when they're outside in the world, those barriers that they typically have are broken down, and they're able to just kind of be out there. You know what I mean? And I think that's so cool. Now with Marin, that barrier isn't exactly there because she is popular at school and she is very social. She's a social butterfly. She has a lot of friends. A lot of people want to be her friend. So she doesn't necessarily have that thing, but I think the representation here is done really well. So when I go back to GOJO, I can see him opening up more, and I don't know if he'll get to a point to where he cosplays along with her, but if he gets to that point, I think that would be really cool too. Now, he doesn't have to go, full sewing mode, full outfit creating, but I think if he just creates some light outfit, he wears a suit, maybe he wears a suit and a wig or something, keep it simple, keep it classy, you know what I mean? And just to kind of be partnered with her. I also think he needs to buy himself a nice camera, too, so he can take more pictures of his girl. But I think those two things would be really cool. And I think Marin will get him there as well. Last thing I want to talk on, because I've gone over 8 minutes here just blabbing of the specialness that I think this anime is. And I think that's just so damn cool. Last couple minutes, I want to talk about the end. Obviously, GOJO finally, he's sleepy. He's in that half-sleep state. And he talks about... because Marin was talking about all the people who look really gorgeous and beautiful and stuff, and he was like, I thought you looked really beautiful today. And all those moments that he had visually seen with her today, her really being Shizuku, her smiling, her running towards him when she was freaking out about him leaving, and all those things kind of flooded in his mind as he's falling asleep. And in that half-sleep state, he's like, you looked really beautiful today. And all those moments to where GOJO was like, I don't throw around the word beautiful very often. Beautiful is reserved as a word to be used to represent something extremely special to me. And when he blurted that out, Marin became flushed. And I was like, God damn, this story is so good. I loved it so much. All right, I'm going to leave you guys off on that. I don't want to pass 10 minutes. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. I'll see you guys on the next one. Till next week, till next Saturday. All right, my friends. Peace out.